Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is the outfit we'll be making today. If something you're interested in, please keep watching. So as per usual, I've traced out my bodice block. My front side is at the right and the back is on the left side. So as we usually do, I'm going to be extending my armhole because my original block has just a quarter of an inch ease in case I want to make handless clothes. But this is having a sleeve, so I'm going to be increasing that allowance by an extra quarter of an inch, and I'm going to be blending that into the end of the side dart. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just making that a whole lot more visible with my marker. I'm blending it into the armhole. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is bringing my neckline down by half an inch, and I'm going to be connecting that to the shoulder, to the edge of the shoulder. So that's what I'm just doing there, connecting that to the top of my neckline, just like that. So I'm just separating my front from the waistline, and I'm doing the same thing to the back because this outfit is going to have a waist seam. So I'm extending the back armhole exactly like I did to the front, adding an extra quarter of an inch and blending that onto the side of the back. Then I'm going to finish separating the piece, just making that more visible with my marker, blending it into the armhole. I'm just separating that. Separating that. So I'm going to be working with the top half of the front and the back first. And then I'm going to come back to work on the bottom half. So I'm going to keep that aside. So I'm just showing you the back and the front. So that's complete. Now we're going to be working with the bottom half of the front. So at this point, guys, I'm going to be using only this front part to cut both my front and the back because they are already equal. So I don't need extra. I don't need the back piece anymore. I'm just going to be using this front to cut my front and my back. So first thing first, I'm extending my hip line because I don't want it to be snug. I want it to have a bit of ease. So I'm adding 3/4 of an inch on the side of the hip. 3/4 of an inch. Then I'm getting that full measurement now from the beginning of the center front to that new 3/4 inch measurement, and I'm going to extend that all the way to the bottom. So that's what I'm doing there, just extending it all the way to the bottom. And then I'm just going to connect that with my ruler. So that's what I'm doing, just connecting all that lines. So now that new point on my hip, I'm going to blend that into my waist, connect that to my waist, just like as I'm doing. So now I've added ease to the hip line so that when I pull it up with drawstring, it won't be so snug fit. So now I want to remove this my front dart. I want to take it over to the side so that I can completely eliminate it. So I'm taking that 1 inch, the entire width of the dart, and I'm going to be taking that to the side. I'm marking that 1 inch on the side, and then I'm going to blend it into the hip using a curve ruler. Just blending it with a curved ruler. So now I've eliminated the front dart. And I'm just making everything much more visible with my marker and rolling that line down with the marker so you can see what I've done. I was just doing the same thing at the back, but I ended up not using the back at all because I realized the front and the back are the same, so there's no point using the back. So now going back to the front, which I'll actually be using, I'm just blending the hip so that there are no sharp lines, just blending it with the curve ruler. And then I'm redrawing out my line that I used to eliminate the dots. I'm blending it into the hip. I'm just showing you with a marker. So next thing I'm doing, I'm just confirming my length, my waist to my shoulder to my waist is 15. So I'm starting it from that 15-inch line and just confirming my length. So this is okay for my length. Whatever yours is, you can extend or reduce. So now I'm just trimming out the front piece. So now I'm done trimming. I'm marking 3 inches lines, starting from the top all the way to the bottom. I'm marking 3 inches. So just mark yours. I'll explain what those lines are for. So that's what I'm just doing, marking 3 inches line. I'm rolling the 3 inches line across. So now I'm just showing that that visible line is my hip line. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm blending the hip line in, because I'm seeing that there's still a sharp edge. So I'm just smoothing that out. And I'm just trimming out the excess. So the next thing I'm going to do is bring a contrasting paper. You can still use the same paper though, but I'm just using a contrasting paper so it's visible what I'm doing. So now I'm splitting these lines that I just made. Please be careful not to split it all the way to the end. Just leave a bit so that it's still attached to the main piece. So I'm just splitting that all the way to the end. So now I'm going to be spreading it on this contrasting paper by 2 inches. Although here I was using 1, but I made the correction later and I added made mine 2 inches. So I'll show you what that looks like at the ending. So I'm just putting the spaces in between. Please use 2 inches on yours. If you don't want much pull at the side, you can use 1. I realized I wanted more, so I made mine 2 inches. So that's what I'm just doing, opening up the spaces up to 2 inches. And then I hold it down with a tape. So that's what I'm just doing. Please guys, at this point, if you've not subscribed, please don't forget to like and subscribe. So I'm just opening up by 2 inches, sealing down, opening up by 2 inches, sealing down, and that's just what I'm doing all the way to the end. So now I'm done doing that. I'm going to use my pencil to create the side curve. Guys, please follow. If you see that a point is coming out, just ignore that and just blend it. As long as you have your curve on the side, that's all that matters. So I'm just blending that curve inward. Just blending out my marker so you can see what I'm doing. So just smoothly, take your time, please don't rush. You can just do this gently. Just blend it, making sure that you're touching all the lines. So that's it. So now I'm just going to trim that out. Oh, sorry, I made a curve at the end, just so it's not straight at the hem. I made a curve. I just marked on the side 2 inches, and then I blended out with a curve onto the hem. So that's what I'm just doing. I'm rolling that out. So that's the curve at the hem. So now I'm going to trim remove out my excess paper. So I'm just cutting that out. So the next thing I'm just showing you that guys, that so this is the one I made with the 1 inch extension. So I'm showing you when you fold it in, when you pull with your drawstring, that front line that's looking curved is going to straighten back up. So this is what it will be looking like. So that's what I'm just trying to show you. So this was the 1 inch one, and then this was the 2 inch one. This is the one I extended to 2 inch. You can see I wrote for front and back. So now next thing you're going to do is bring your top part of your front piece, and you're going to measure the length from the edge of the neckline all the way to the bottom so you can get your placket length. So that's what I'm doing. I'm measuring that. I'll take where that measurement stop and I'll start it on the other side and measure that all the way to the bottom. So now I'm going to use that measurement to create my placket length. So on the fresh paper, I'm just creating a border line, just a straight line. And then I'm going to be making a 4-inch measurement on the side, 4 inches. That's 3 inches for my button and then 1 inch for my sewing allowance. That's half and half for the sewing allowance. So that's what I'm just marking there, 4 inches all the way to the bottom. So I'm just explaining that, yeah. So 4, 4, 4 all the way to the bottom. So this paper is obviously not going to be enough for the 33 inches I have, so I'm extending that. So guys, at this point, please make yours more than your initial measurement. If you have 30 something on your own, if you have 32, please increase your own up to 34. You can trim out the excess later. It's better to have enough than less. So I'm just trimming that. This is my extension and I'm indicating cut 2-piece button placket. So this is my button placket. Guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe, please. So now I'm going to keep that on the side. So I'm just keeping that on the side, and the next thing I'm going to be doing is our sleeve. So for my sleeve, I'm just tracing out my sleeve block. Guys, please always make blocks for your patterns on like solid paper so that you just trace whenever you want to make any design. So I'm just tracing out my sleeve. I'm done tracing that, and I'm going to be making adjustments on here. So I'm just connecting the hemline and the top arm line. So next thing I'm going to be doing is measuring my cuff height. So I wanted my cuff to be 3 inches. So I'm just marking that on there, 3 inches. I'm just going to rule that out. I'm going to be indicating that this is my cuff, and then I'm going to trim that out. So that's the up and that's the down. So when you're assembling it, you know. So for the sleeve, at this point you can split it at the middle and extend it, open it up so you can have more width if you have more paper, if you have more fabric. But I had a little fabric, not a lot, so I'm just extending the side by 2 inches. Then I'm going to connect that to the edge of the sleeve. So that will give me enough, just a bit more room to gather into my cuff. But if you have enough fabric, you can split yours all the way in the middle to the top and just open it up for more volume. So now I'm just going to trim this out. So I'm just showing you that I'll be pleating that or gathering that into my cuff. So I'm just going to trim out this sleeve, just indicating that this is my sleeve block. Then I'm just trimming that out. So the sleeve is ready. That's the front, that's the back, that's the sleeve, the cuff, and everything is ready. Please guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.